Hi, I'm Lauren Stern.
Hi, I'm Vivian Trong.
And we are 9th grade students in Miss Andrews' 7th period biology honors class. The question that we received from the middle school students was, how do freshwater salmon survive in the ocean? Freshwater salmon spend most of their life in the open ocean, living in the northern Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. They are anadromous, meaning that most types are born in freshwater and then they migrate to the sea and then return to freshwater to spawn. As adults, they lay their eggs in gravel beds at the upper reaches of freshwater streams, and when the eggs hatch, the salmon spend several months migrating downstream to the open ocean where they remain for some 3 to 5 years. When mature, the adult salmon return to the mouth of the stream where they originally hatched and migrate upstream to its headwaters, spawn, and die.
While in freshwater, the fish are hypertonic to their surroundings. This means that their cells have a lower water concentration than the surrounding freshwater. Without certain adaptations, the cells would absorb so much water during osmosis that the pressure would build up and the cell would burst.
While the salmon are in saltwater, they are hypotonic to their surroundings. That means that their cells have a higher water concentration than the surrounding seawater. Seawater is made up of the solute salt, which is dissolved into the solvent water. This ultimately means that the ratio of salt to water is greater than the ratio of salt to water in freshwater. Without certain adaptations, the water would leave the salmon cell, and the salmon cell would ultimately shrink, and its contents would also be compressed, making it harder for the cell to carry out certain functions. And this happens through the process of osmosis, as too much water has left the cell to dilute the salt water outside of it.
In freshwater, the fresh water will move into the cell because the membrane is permeable only to water, and instead of salt moving out, water moves in. In saltwater, water would move out of the cell in an attempt to create an isotonic concentration on both sides, which means that the concentrations of salt and water are the same on both sides of the membrane.
In order for salmon to stay hydrated while in saltwater, the salmon drink seawater to replace the water that they've already lost. However, a consistent problem occurs where the salmon must filter out the salt so that it doesn't affect their cells. One of the salmon's saltwater adaptations includes the kidney's ability to produce concentrated urine. This means that the fish can get rid of large amounts of salt while using minimal amounts of water.
The fish contain a special enzyme in their gill that uses energy from breaking apart molecules to actively transport salt against their concentration gradient out of the blood and into the salt water.
In summary, while salmon are in freshwater, they consume a large amount of fresh water, which must be diffused into their bloodstream by osmosis.
While in salt water, the fish cannot afford to lose any more water. Therefore, it must produce small amounts of concentrated urine, as well as excrete salt through its gills.
The end. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.